Hello, Nicky Team video. Today we're going to take a look at the newly released Hisuian Sneasel in the Hisui Cup here. And this Pokemon is kind of hilarious because we have like Poison Jab, we have Close Combat, really decent moveset, but usually you wouldn't really expect a Sneasel in any type of Go Battle League content, as this Pokemon is really squishy and not really usable prior. But this thing is actually kind of hilarious. Also, this thing really freaks me out. If you're gonna see, like, in general, if you like zoom in into the charge move animation when it just does the charge move, it looks so weird. Also, when you do like AR photo, if you have already one in your storage, you can do an AR photo. This thing looks super weird. I don't know, like both lines, like the Sneasler and the Sneasel, look super weird when you play with them, but hey, that's not the problem here. But we have a really interesting team here. We have the Munchlax in the lead. Like a lot of times people who like have some knowledge about the game use stuff like Lickitung in the lead, Munchlax in the lead, stuff like this. And I also kind of wanted to try it out here as a ghost answer, as we are really weak to ghost types in the back. And it worked out pretty well. Well, I think we're actually still gonna lose the first match here, just barely, because we don't get to the move by one turn, which is kind of sad. If I had thrown the move against the Obama Snow early, I think I might have had a chance here, but like this, I will not be able to get to the next move. But hey, how did it go? I actually went insanely positive with this team, and I actually went insanely positive with the Sneasel in general. Also, cool job here by my opponent having Guard Jump. I also kind of want to make a video about Guard Jump again. I already did this last time the Sinnoh Cup was around. Guard Jump is actually no joke. This thing is really cool to destroy a lot of Pokemon. I don't know really if you want to run the Dragon Tail though. I think that the Mudshot is a little bit better in this meta, but this is like, depends on your preferences. Maybe against like Drifblim you can do some stuff, but I don't know, I'm not sure about this either. But yeah, Sneasler here going to, Sneasel gonna be able to go for some resisted moves here. It only has resisted moves against Drifblim. It's kind of sad, but my opponent doesn't know my moveset. I think there's still a thing I have Ice Punch or something, so they just go shield up everything, which is nice for me. I could also showcase the Sneasler for the Great League, because I have one now from trade. You have to have like a traded one from low level 20, but I'm not sure if I really want to, so I still have to even evolve it. I didn't evolve it yet, but we have to see here. But I'm already happy with this kind of Pokemon, as my opponent gonna go into an Empoleon, which is actually okay for me, because I can farm this thing down and I can get to a Sludge Bomb here, and this is all that I really need. They don't even get a move there. I think that's the CMP type, and this damage is all that I wanted, as they are at a range where one lick is already enough to KO the Drifblim, and this should be an easy game here. Winning this game here next time. We're gonna have here Bronzong in the lead. Definitely something that I want to see in the lead and not in the back, as my back line both are double weak to confusion. So my opponent goes into a Toxic and into a Cherrim, and I was really making a bad swap there. I should have went definitely into my Sneasel, because Sneasel has the Poison Jab, which would be super effective, and the Excel, which would be super effective. So that was kind of a misplay on my part, but they're gonna let this move go through, and I make another mistake by not going for my move immediately. But I'm thinking maybe I still can get to 2 Mud Bombs here, so I'm just gonna shield this one up, go for 1 Mud Bomb, gonna get a shield, go for another Mud Bomb, gonna get maybe a shield. Does it KO? We will see here. It will actually KO my opponent, and we see a Toxicroak in the back, and this is game over because I misplayed this game. Hell yeah. If I just went into my Sneasel, I would have been fine, but like this, there's nothing I can do here anymore. I can just go for 2 Body Slams, get at least 1 shield here, get him a little bit lower at least. So maybe, but there's like no chance, alright? Like 1 Mud Bomb is super effective against Sneasel. Sneasel has the same stats as the normal Sneasel, like the Hisuian Sneasel has the same stats as the normal Sneasel. So 1 super effective Mud Bomb gonna be able to KO me here. Or not. We easily survive this and can farm this thing down with 1 Poison Jab. Easy win there. You thought so, right? So we have the Lucario in the lead. Wouldn't be the best matchup for Sneasel either. For Sneasel, it would be actually an amazing matchup as far as I know, because you generate energy faster and you can pressure it with the fast move damage alone. Already the Poison Jab does a lot of damage against Lucario just because it's so squishy here, and it's, even though it's double resisted. But we get out the hardest answer for my Pokemon in the back, which I really wanted, which is a Drifblim. So I can just farm down this thing with my Munchlax now, get some energy, get some Bulldoze damage basically onto the into the Lucario later on. So I might get a shield advantage, maybe get like in general, any type of advantage would be nice here. But I'm actually gonna swap out here because we're double debuffed into my Toxic Rogue, we have some lag here, and we can see the Frostless coming in here. Frostless matchup with some energy lead is pretty decent for Toxic Rogue. You always win this now with energy lead in the 2-shield scenario. I think you need 1 counter extra to win the matchup against the Frostless, which is pretty decent. Also, it's going to be important for the video tomorrow, because tomorrow's video will also be a very good team actually. Which I went pretty positive with, like I think even better than this team. But like yeah, I gained a lot of elo in the Sinnoh Cup or the Hisui Cup for the first few sets that I played, which is cool. I can snipe this Lucario with my Munchlax, boom, Bulldoze comes through, KOs this thing and wins us the game. Pretty easy there. That's actually the funny thing. Against Munchlax, Lucario of course wins in like a normal scenario, but if you have like energy or whatever, like this thing cannot pressure you with their energy. They can go for Power Punch, but still it's a Power Punch. It's still gonna do some damage, but not a lot. And you're gonna be able to have like a pretty decent time still with the Munchlax there, which is funny. We see the Drift Bomb coming in again. We can go for a big Sludge Bomb here, resisted damage, but it's always enough to put him into a range where the lick down is pretty easily possible, as they even throw a Charge Move here, which is amazing for us, as they now have less energy to throw now to our Munchlax. We can farm up some extra energy, and they're gonna go ahead and go into their Lucario, which is a little bit awkward here, because of course we have our Sneasel, we have resisted moves all over the board, like those are both double resisted here. Of course, I could go for the close comment, but it's very likely that they shield. I'm gonna shield here as well because I needed some damage there on them still. They go for a Power Punch, and this is also only a Power Punch as far as I can tell, so I'm just gonna let this move go through. And I am alright with this, as I can go for another Exeter, get the final shield by my opponent. They can farm me down in time, but we got them into a range where we can just lick him down. They're gonna go ahead for a charge move. We can shield this up. Best charge move that we can shield up here anyway. The counter still does hurt, but we have the Drift Bomb now against us, and even 2 Icy ones I don't think would KO us at this range. No, never ever. And we can just go ahead, go for 1 Body Slam, put him into a range where the lick down is easily possible, and should be a good game here. So, Munchlax is a really cool Pokemon in this kind of meta, has a lot of potential. We see Gastrodon lead. Gastrodon lead is really what you don't want to face in general, Gastrodon with this team, because you're double weak to ground in the back, so you don't really want to have it there. But if you have it in the lead matchup where usually the Gastrodons are, it's actually pretty okay for you, as you can go ahead, go for some Body Slams here, and you usually should win this matchup in the 2-shield scenario, I think, with the Munchlax, or you get it close enough to KO this thing with your fighting types. As we see a Drapion coming in, and this Drapion gonna go to town here. Like, Drapion still safe swap against Toxic Rogue of its Shadow. Like, this thing still does enough damage to 2-shot you, which is kinda insane, to be honest. It's crazy. And I have nothing that I really can do here, so I'm just gonna shield this one, try to get the final shit by my opponent as well. But I'm actually not gonna be able to, because my opponent just gets through their moves so fast, it's insane. And we just see that we can now go into our Sneasel. The Sneasel gonna take this Aqua Tail, and we can farm this thing down there. And we see my opponent going into their Skuntank with a Bite. I should have stayed in here in this scenario, but I made this mistake by not doing this, and I gonna go ahead, go for 1 Body Slam, get the shield from my opponent because I expected a Bulldoze. I can go for another move here, but it's gonna come down to the wire. Does the Gastrodon have still a move? I can go for my Exeter, which I stored here. This Exeter gonna definitely KO my opponent, as we are very, very attack weighted. Can we farm this down in time? We can go for the Exeter still, and Sneasel is just sweeping through here. It's hilarious. Like, I'm really enjoying those new cool Pokemon. They're more like squishy and fun to use. Wormadam is a horrible matchup for this team. Like, Wormadam is winning against everything. I was like hoping that I don't really encounter this Pokemon, but here we are. They're gonna go for a Bug Buzz. I can go for 1 Bulldoze. I hope that they let this go, but otherwise I have a problem. So we see that they let it go through, but yeah, we can still go for 1 Body Slam at least. It's nice. Maybe we get the shield here, maybe we get him low. We get him low, that's all that I really want. I can farm down, and now I'm pretty happy again. They have a Toxic Rogue here, and as we know already, we can survive 1 move here at least. And this is all that we gonna need to survive anyway, so we can get to another close combat here. They're gonna have now 2 counters advantage, which I thought they only had 1 counter advantage, I think. So I misplayed this matchup here a little bit, as you're gonna see now, because they don't even throw an alignment anymore. But I thought that they were only 1 move ahead of me, so I kinda misplay that by not swapping out now. So yeah, they needed 2 moves there. Like, that was my mistake. I could have played this better. But like this, we sadly won't be able to win this game anymore. We would have been able to win this game otherwise, actually. Like, definitely would have won this game. So, misplay on my part, not counting the moves correctly. And this Bulldoze is never enough to KO this Empoleon. We see the Hydro Cannon come through, and this is a good game. Next up, we're gonna have the Munchlax against the Drifblim. Very nice matchup for us. Drifblim lead is very common in this kind of meta, especially with like something like the Munchlax in the back, or any kind of Steel type in the back, or a Drapion in the back. We can go for one Bulldoze, as we don't need the energy against Drifblim anyway. When we realign it later on, we get him basically low enough that we can farm down with our Toxicroak here. And this should be a pretty decent matchup. We can survive now at least 2 Aqua Tails, and we can basically are in range where they can farm me down with the Drifblim without getting too much energy, or we can hit 1 Sludge Bomb still on those on the Drifblim, which is really important to put him into range where I can lick him down easier. And we are looking pretty decent here, depending on what they have in the back now. And they're gonna bring in the Bastion. We're gonna go ahead and go for one Bulldoze, as we are still switch locked here. Thought that my opponent was still switch locked as well, but they weren't. And we're gonna have to go now into our Sneasel. And I'm just gonna let this one move go through here, because I kinda expect them to like that I might be able to just Bulldoze them later on again with my Munchlax here, but I can go ahead, go for one Exeter, get the shield from my opponent. My opponent still has a shield left now. I have to shield this up definitely, but they're most likely going to come back into the Drifblim soon. So I'm going to go ahead, go for my Exeter here, get the final shield from my opponent. They go into the Drifblim, but as I got the move through here, I know that I have a close combat start now, and I can just shield it up, swap into my Munchlax, farm all the way down, and I should be able to get to my close combat later on against this Bastion if I don't get to a Bulldoze here already, but I get to the Bulldoze anyway. So this is gonna be a good game that should KO my opponent, and yeah, Bastion, no problem for this team. Everything has like an answer for this basically here. As my next opponent has Gallade in the lead. Something that I really don't want to face, but also something that I really don't want to face from my backline is Bronzong. They have a double confusion team, and this is of course horrible for me, as yeah, my backline are both double weak to confusion. So we're gonna get one shield here, which is nice. We have to shield up everything. My opponent goes for Bulldoze for whatever reason. Go for Psyshock, please, next time. But we can go ahead, go for more Body Slams, trying to win back switch advantage here. And we are able to do this with the same shields, and I can just go for the Body Slam spam here. Body Slam comes through, put him into yellow health, and I can get to another Body Slam, but I'm actually gonna swapping into my Sneasel. You see how much damage it did, but I resist all the charge moves of this Pokemon, so I am fine here. You see the Bastion coming in, we can go for the close combat. Do they know that we have close combat on this Pokemon? Yes, they do, but it doesn't matter, because at this point of time we already won anyway, as we have the Toxicroak in the back, and this thing cannot do anything against Toxicroak. We even let this move go through just for fun, and we can go ahead, and they just gonna go and surrender. Going into the final match here, we will see Munchlax against Gastron in the lead again. Pretty nice matchup for me, but I think this match was kinda not like the way that I really wanted it to be. So let's see how it goes here. They go for the Earth Power, all fine, we shield this up, we can go for one Body Slam, get him lower, but it's gonna come down to him swapping into the Empoleon here, and I think I was a little bit late. No, I actually get to the Mud Bomb in time, that's fine then. You have like 3 turns basically, which you can swap into the Toxicroak to still get to the move in time. They're gonna shield up, I gonna shield up, I can farm down, they're gonna go most likely, and they go into a Frostless, and Frostless is a little bit tricky for this team. And sadly, I am not able to get to 2 Mud Bombs here, and this is really annoying. So I have to go into my Sneasel now, and I have to go and try to get to a move here. But I'm also gonna try to swap out now, but they farm me down with the Gastron, and at this point this game was over. So good game to my opponent. Still, I went crazy positive with this team here, and I can highly recommend you actually Sneasel. Sneasel is so much fun to play. If you have the Sneasler, it's also really good, but you need like a low level account for this. But this is gonna be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and bye.